name's Rebecca and welcome to my music studio. I'm so glad that you are here to join me on this channel. So on this channel and in my studio, I love to teach students whether they have played for a really long time or if they're picking up piano for the first time in their adult lives, to sit down at the piano and make beautiful music every single time. This is something that I never learned in my many years of playing the piano and even studying music in college. So I decided this would be a great thing to teach because I never had a teacher teach it to me. Today I'm going to be showing you a really easy chord progression in the key of D major, which may be a new key for you. A lot of beginning students start in the key of C major, which is great because you don't have to worry about any of the black keys. However, today we're going to expand our horizons a little bit and play in the key of D major. Once you learn the easy chord progression in your left hand, I'm going to show you a 5-note pattern in your right hand that has a little bit of a jazzy, bluesy feel to it. That seems intimidating to play music that does have that jazzy feel to it, but it's really easy when you start at the beginning. So that's what we're going to do now. This will translate into any of the different keys. If you check out this video, this is where I show you this exact same chord progression, but with something different in your right hand using the pentatonic scale. A lot of times people have questions over what kind of patterns to do with your left hand and what kind of patterns to do with your right hand. And this is just a way to make it just the tiniest bit easier because you only have to think of 5 notes at a time instead of 8. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's something that makes a big difference. So come over to the piano. I'll show you exactly what this key is, the key of D major, what the left hand progression is, and then how to make this jazzy feel in the right hand. And it's going to transform your playing. I just want to take a second to thank you so much for all of your support here ever since I started just a few months ago on YouTube. If you want to help me in a free way, super easy, just subscribe, comment, share, let me know any ideas that you have for future videos. Hit that bell icon so you know every time I upload a new video. For those of you who have bought me coffee, thank you so much. I am so honored that you would give to me that way, and it just helps me get through the day, and it's such an encouragement. So thank you so much. Today we're going to start playing in the key of D major. D major is played between a D and a D. But instead of having all white notes like we did between C and C, we're going to actually add some sharps. Now, just as a reminder of what a sharp is taking any note. Instead of playing the note that's there, you're playing one note that is directly to the right of it or up the piano. So in this case, we have 2 black notes. Instead of playing the F, we're going to play this next note, which is directly to the right of it, which is an F sharp. So it's this one, which is the beginning of the set of 3. And then the other one is a C sharp. So instead of playing a C, we're going to play this note, which is directly to the right, and that is a C sharp. So it's the first of the set of 3, and it's the first of the set of 2. So we're playing from D to D, remembering to skip the F and the C and playing F sharp and C sharp instead. Now for right now, you can use the regular scale fingering, or you can just use one finger to start. I will address some scale fingering in a different upcoming video. However, for now, we're just going to use one finger. F sharp, C sharp. And then we come back down. The reason I like to play scales first is because it kind of teaches your hands which notes to play, which notes not to play, and it also gives your ear an idea of where we are starting. So now that we understand our key, we're going to play our chord progression. And I'm going to make these chords in stacked chords or triad form in the left hand first to begin. So this is the same chord progression that I've used in this video. If you check it out, I have 3 different keys in there, but it's one of the easiest chord progressions to hear and to put into practice. And the cool thing is that it is looping. So you can start at the beginning and go from the 1 chord to the 6 chord to the 4 chord to the 5 chord every single time, as long as you are always ending on the 1 chord. So I'll keep it in triad form first, and then I'm going to show you the representative chords that we're going to do. So in the key of D, if we start here, we're going to count up 3 notes. 1, 2, 3. That leads us to F sharp. So we have D, F sharp. And then if we start from D and go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we get to an A. So our first triad for our number 1 chord in the key of D major is D, F sharp, A, and that is a D major chord. Then we're going to go to the 6 chord. So let's count up 6 from D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to build a triad in the key of D major. So that is B, D, and then instead of the F, we're not playing an F, we're playing it in F sharp. That is a B minor chord. So we're going from a 1 chord, and then let's go down this way because this B chord is really close from here to this B chord. Then we're going to our 4 chord. So from D, 1, 2, 3, 4, we will build a triad on G, and we have a G major chord, G, B, D. And then we have 1 more chord, which is our 5 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, built on A, and that is an A, C sharp, E, an A major chord. So let's look at the whole thing. So we have D major to B minor to G major to A major, and then we close the loop by going back to our 1 chord, which is our D major. So now that we know our chords in our left hand, we want to make representative chords. So this is one of my favorite patterns to do in the left hand because it's pretty easy for beginners. So instead of doing the triad, which you absolutely can do if that makes you feel comfortable and you want to do just that chord, go ahead and do that. But if you want to try this new pattern, you just, instead of playing the 3 notes, you are going to play an octave with the first note. So it's D to D. And then you will put your 2 finger down on the 5th of the chord, which is an A. So the full chord is D, F sharp, A with a D on top. But a 4-note chord is very difficult for beginners. And so we can take out that 3rd pretty easily, and we have our representative chord. So let's go through our pattern now with our representative chords. And if that is even too much for you to do 3 notes, you can only do the octave as well, and that will work out perfectly well. So we will do the first one, and then we go to our number 6, which is the B minor, the F sharp in the middle. And then we go to G major with D in the middle. Then A major with E in the middle. And then back to our 1. So you can either play them all together or you can arpeggiate them. Arpeggiations just mean playing the individual notes in any order that you want to. So you can play 2 notes together, like that, or you can play them all together or from top to bottom, whichever you would like. So go through and make sure that you have all of those representative chords in your hand before moving on to the next step. Now I'm going to show you the 5 notes that we are going to include. And as a bonus, if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to show you the entire scale that we're going to use, including a few extra notes, more than just the 5, but I want you to begin with just these 5 notes. We're going to start with a D, E, F sharp, and A. That's 4 notes. But I'm going to add one more, which is going to give it that bluesy feel. And that note is the note I told you to skip, which is the F, which is not actually in the key of D major. So this is part of the blues scale. And I will do another video with the entire blues scale at your disposal. But for now, we're just going to add this F as a passing tone. And what that means is that we're not just going to stick right on the F, but that we're going to think of this F as resolving to the F sharp every time you play it. So what I want you to do is just play all 4 of these notes in order. So we're going to do our 1 finger on the D, 2 on E, 3 on F, 4 on F sharp, and 5 on A. And just kind of go through like that. You can hear it already. So once you've got that in your hand, we're going to then put it hands together, but in a very easy way before we start adding extra rhythm and expanding with to the octave and outside of the octave and things like that. So our first step then is going to be playing 1 note in our left hand, which is going to be our representative chord. For right now, I'll just do the octave without the 5th in the middle. And then we're going to do 3 of these notes in the right hand. So any of the 5 notes that I just gave you, D, E, F, F sharp, and A, it's your only choices, but you get 3 of them. So we're going to do 1 beat and then 3 notes over here. Then move to our next chord. And then end on your 1. So make sure that you understand how to use both hands together before you move on to the next step. It's always very important to make sure that you really understand movement of your hand in a very, very simplified way before you move on. A lot of beginners want to be able to play with extensive patterns right away, and it's just not achievable yet. But that's what practice is for. And it's important to start easier, simpler, before you get to the more complicated. So make sure you've got that. Pause the video. Make sure you understand it before you're ready to move on to our next step. Okay, so now you understand how to play with both hands. And now instead of doing alternating hands where you left hand and then 3 notes over here, we're going to now play all 4 beats at the same time. And the way that we're going to do this is still stick with these 5-finger pattern. It does feel a little bit awkward in 5 fingers because we have 3 of them. The 2, 3, and 4 are pretty squished. They're on the E, F, and F sharp right here. And so that does feel a little squishy. It feels awkward, but just stick with me. So we're going to do the same exact thing, except we're going to now arpeggiate the left-hand side, and we're going to play 1 note at a time between those 5 choices. Let's give this a try. So once you've got that down, now I still want you to stay within this 5-finger pattern. But this time, we are going to be playing 1 or more notes at a time. So it doesn't always have to be just 1 note at a time and in quarter notes. So quarter notes are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever notes that you choose. So this time we're going to add some different rhythmic elements, and this might be worth it to not play with your left hand. If you just want to give this a try with your right hand first, go ahead and do that. So let's try it just hands alone to see what this feels like. So something like that. And again, every time you're improvising, you get to make up something different. I don't have a very great memory, to be honest. So if I played this today and then I came back tomorrow, I would have no idea what I played yesterday unless I have recorded it or written it down or something. So that's the beauty of improvisation when you have the techniques down and the different chord patterns in your left hand, your right hand can kind of do its own thing. Don't be afraid of that. It's okay if it sounds different every time. But if you want to kind of critique yourself and maybe keep it for the next time, go ahead and record yourself. You don't have to show it to anybody. It can just be for your own pleasure. Okay, so after you've tried it hands alone, we're going to now try it with our left hand and still stick here. All right, so we still just have, we're not going anywhere else, but we're trying different rhythmic patterns in our right hand and playing our left hand at the same time. Let's give this a try. Now I kind of have a bonus step for this one. So when we add this little F natural in here with the F sharp, so the F natural always going to the F sharp, it sometimes feels really good to the ear to make it go really quickly, like that. Only that can be hard to do. So you're going to go very slowly, and we're going to do D, E, F, F sharp. And we're going to just do that pretty quickly. All right, so just give it a try like that, and then go back down. And then see if you can speed it up a little bit. And then speed it up a little bit more. If you're having a hard time, try this. Try your 3-finger on F, your 4-finger on F sharp, and play them together. And just try that. And then you can gradually separate them. That sound is a really great sound in our improvisation, and it just takes some getting used to. Another thing that can sound really great is doing those two together. So if we just do like that, just to get your hand used to this feeling of playing two notes together at the same time. It doesn't always have to be 3 and 4. Like you can do it with 2 and 3 if you want to. So kind of play around with your fingering as well, but that just gets your hand used to this new little feeling. Our next step is now to expand the right hand to an octave and beyond. So that means, remember that an octave is from D to D. So it feels like there are more notes in this series than there actually are. So really, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes total. But if we add 1 on top, it feels like a 6th note, even though it's just the same. So really, we can play and then go back down. So you really have between the 2 octaves to make up your song. That means that you get to play around a little bit more. So again, before you add it left hand and right hand together, try it with just the right hand alone. And just see how it feels to move your hand up and move your hand down. A lot of beginners feel really afraid of moving out of the octave. This is middle C, and a lot of them will stay right here because they're afraid of your hand getting stuck. And I have even found this for myself as well. I will play something down here, and then if I move up into this octave, it's hard for me to get back down sometimes unless I'm really thinking. So I want you to practice going up and then coming back down. Only then can you put your hands together and try the whole thing. So let's give this a try with use of the entire octave. If you are really struggling to get this in your right hand, Go slowly. You do not have to play this quickly. So it can be something like this. You can speed up when you get more comfortable. So you do not have to feel like you have to go fast right away. And this is your bonus that I promised you. So the bonus is that now we're going to also add the C natural as a quick little passing tone. So we can add our C natural and our F natural to our F sharp. So this time you can, if you want to get out of just the 5 notes and you want to expand to the entire scale, you now have the opportunity to do that. So now we have everything in our disposal. So this is not exactly the blues scale, but just adding this one more piece of color gives it a little bit extra. And that's what I want you to practice with. So same exact progression in the left hand, but in the right hand, you now have these 2 little passing tones, the F and the C, that resolve into the F sharp and the C sharp. So it can sound something like this. So that's all there is to it. If you're having trouble, make sure that you start at the very beginning of the video and you can play along with me and then pause it. Rewind, take notes. You can go over the videos as many times as you want. You don't have to progress all the way from the beginning to the end where it's a little bit more complicated if you're not prepared. So you can use these videos kind of as lessons, and that is my desire that you do that. Have so much fun with this chord progression and with this right hand pattern. It is one of my absolute favorites because it has a great feeling and it sounds so wonderful, and it's the beginning of the blues scale. We'll talk more about that in future videos. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.